It has been 37 days since rugby. Without fixtures on a Saturday, time has become irrelevant. A mere vehicle to get us from one cup of tea to the next. Everything unravelled. And then, on a day that was probably yesterday, just as I was going through my normal morning routine, I saw it. Rugby. Rugby on the horizon in the form of an email. Because it turns out there's actually still quite a lot of rugby going on. Some things exactly as they were. Jack Goodhue still has that animal trapped to his head. Carlos Spencer you better believe he's still got it.
That's it. Come on.
Jamie Roberts is still putting the entire population of Earth to shame by being not only effortlessly brilliant at everything, but also by just being the best and kindest and most wonderful human being imaginable. And Jamie didn't even stop at joining the NHS ranks, using his medical degree that he's got, or helping to feed the NHS, dropping off care packages across the country. No, he also went and joined a number of Stormers teammates in producing a pretty belting cover of Johnny Clegg's The Crossing, including Sia Khaleesi, who's got pipes. Also taking time out from providing even more help and support for hospitals across Cape Town. Jamie wasn't even the only Bish Bash Boss centre showing off his softer musical side, as Paula CK, who's very used to not backing down, added another Tom Petty hit to his repertoire by covering Free Falling, making it... Now there's a full album worth out there. There must be a full album. In fact, let's get him and Jamie together, Sia Khaleesi on backing vocals, Reece Patrick can play the guitar. Let's get this going. Let's get World Cup 2023. Let's get the band together. We also have, providing another valuable public service, Jamal Ford Robertson, who, amongst other things, has been helping us make some very tough decisions. And for those of us who've just missed watching rugby, there's been plenty of old games being live streamed and included across the web, across social media. I mean, for one, following on from Squidge Rugby's film club looking at Invictus, we got to see on the World Rugby pages, he does team up for real, and boy does he look taller when you see him not being lit up by movie cameras. This was a chance to watch South Africa's first ever Rugby World Cup match, the day on which their World Cup history was born, if you will. The day on which they went out trying to fulfill, as per Invictus, Nelson Mandela's plan to unite a nation. They went hunting goodwill, and because they're playing the Wallabies, if they wanted to safely store the Springboks and Wallabies, and what they'd need to do is they'd need to buy a zoo. Matt Damon was also in a film called Rising Sun, right at the start of his career, which nobody's seen, but you know, it acts for me as a perfect segue into the next game World Rugby had on, which was last year's absolute classic to be, the modern classic that was Japan v Scotland, as Japan beat Scotland, a second big upset of just that tournament, in order to qualify for the quarterfinals for the first time ever. And this provided the perfect opportunity for me to speak to someone who was there on the touchline himself that day.
How you doing, brother? I see you got the guns out. Hey, what you got a small T-shirt on there, the Welsh top? What's going on?
Yeah, that's just my default look. Japan, Scotland. I believe I'm right in saying you were right there on the touchline.
Yeah, it was a funny old one. Obviously, they had the projected maybe postponement with the typhoon that come through. When you had the actual event turn up, it was an amazing vibe to it. You know, you got to the ground and the Japanese, they were there about 5 hours before kickoff. So, you know, it was a really surreal type of environment, and it was a real cauldron, to be honest. And it was wicked to actually be there and experience that.
Did it feel different? Did it feel like a particularly big occasion when the game was building towards the kickoff?
Yeah, no, totally did. One thing that stood out for me was the anthem. Once the anthem started going, the Japanese anthem. You can see so many people crying. It was just emotional, and they're very proud people. I was lucky enough to play some footy there, and just feel the passion come out. And usually the Japanese are very stoic and staunch, and to see them openly do that was something I've never experienced before.
Do you miss it as well? Do you miss it as badly as I do?
Yeah, it's the whole experience was cool. Have you been to Japan before?
No, it's my first time.
What was the best food over there you got amongst?
I had a local I found who took me into a bar that was, there was no English language stuff at all, and ordered something. I have no idea what it was to this day. It involved salmon, and that was as much as I got, but it was delicious. It was great.
My ex-Japanese captain took me out and a couple of the lads to an izakaya, the local pub, and they had like raw chicken. The local boys are into it. I was like, man, I don't know how you guys are still alive.
It's a miracle, isn't it? Maybe that's how they got to that quarterfinal.
That's right.
By raw chicken.
Also, there was actual news that seemed to imply that rugby will be played at some point, which is frankly great news. That's what I'm here for.
It seemed to imply at some point there will be rugby again because some players signed for new teams to play for post-apocalypse, which is very exciting. So we saw Johnny May go back, which I would have thought makes him Johnny April. Corey Hill is also going home. He's going to do the 14-minute train journey from Newport to Cardiff to go to the Cardiff Blues. And Hadley Parkes, elsewhere in Wales, looks to be missing Japan just as much as me and KT were. And one last bit of Pro 14 news. Last week, Francois Steyn was stood in lockdown, decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick a rugby ball. So he pumps it and he decides, wherever this ball lands, I'm going to sign for the closest team. That ball flew all the way from France into the back garden of Cheetah's coach, Jorge Ferri. And hence, Francois Steyn is headed back to South Africa to join the Pro 14. Finally, I want to pick up on some more somber news because we found out this week that France legends Thierry Dusautoir and Sébastien Chabal have both contracted, showing symptoms of the coronavirus. I just want to send my best regards to the coronavirus because you don't stand a chance. Have you seen Dusautoir? Have you seen Chabal? I reckon Thierry Dusautoir's antibodies are so strong that not only will he be cured of it in seconds, but 36 people in the local area will instantly better. And I want to send my best to them and their families, as well as anyone else affected by the virus. And so I think that actually brings us through a week in which there's been a surprising amount of rugby. There's actually been quite a lot of rugby for a week without rugby. And do you know what? I'm willing to bet next week will be exactly the same. I'll see you then.